All right, this is Mike Messier. I'm here to discuss my next film. My next film is very sensational. It's very excellent. I am the writer of the film. I also directed the film, Mike Messier's next film, and I will talk about the process of the film. First of all, you should know that every voice in this film comes from me. What do I mean by that? Well, basically we had a situation in the film editing, or actually not even before editing, filming the film, we had audio difficulties. Now, some filmmakers might be distracted or annoyed by audio difficulties. However, making every negative into a positive and using the resources at hand, I decided that every character should have a voice in this film, and that voice should be mine. So what we did very carefully was we had all this footage of all these wonderful, beautiful actors, every ethnicity, every gender, every transgender with every ethnicity combo we could think of, except Asian, but we had everything else, and we had all these actors on camera with beautiful dialogue that I had written in the course of a weekend last September, but we had very poor audio. So there was a suggestion of some type of controversial or new technique called audio recording of some kind, audio film recording, AFR, and I said, no, bullshit. We're not going to do that, pardon my French. We're going to do something unique. I am going to be the voice of every character in this film. So, with the careful use of editing, I do not edit, I have an editor. With a careful use of editing, we set up a microphone, and as each actor appeared on camera in the film, I spoke the words that actor was supposed to speak, using a voice appropriate to that actor's gender and their nationality. I did black voices, African American voices, I did women voices. I did, well, everything but Asian, because we had no Asian actors, but we had everything else. I did Indian, I did Hebrew. I did everything I could do to fully, as a white man, capture the voice of the voiceless. Everyone, except for me. So I voiced everything. Myself, I did it. Now, when you watch the film, you might be a little disjointed because every voice is coming from me, but I took on certain affects, AFFECTS, of the voice. I took on certain colloquialisms, and I did a good black voice, and I did a good woman voice. I did all types of things to really sell the bullet points, okay? So we did that. As far as the budget of the film, it was not a large budget. My uncle funded the film. He has since passed away, and there are some legalities that were currently being worked out. My uncle and I were on a boat shortly before I began producing the film, and I was in a bit of a financial situation that I did not have the money to fund the film. My uncle fell off the boat to go swimming in the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. It was very cold, and he got hypothermia and died. There is a lawsuit from my aunt with repercussions that might put me in jail, but if not, I will be making another film. In the meantime, we have gotten a very good, what's called a platform distribution deal with several independent movie theaters throughout the country. It's a very risky style of distribution, however, we feel good about it. My film will be in 17 theaters, and the film itself is 17 minutes and 17 seconds long. No, there is not a theme of the number 17 in the actual film. There's a theme of 17 in the distribution and the marketing of the film, that the film is in 17 theaters at 17 minutes and 17 seconds long. That's a marketing theme for the film, but the number 17 is not in the actual film. That's just a happy coincidence. But I might make a sequel about how we distributed this film. I'm making a documentary about the distribution of this film. This film is titled Untitled. It's the first time a film has ever had the title of Untitled. Others have done that. Well, this is titled Mike Messier's Untitled Film. Mike Messier's Untitled Film is my first Untitled film. Therefore, it's my original viewpoint. I did no research into other Untitled films before I made Untitled film by Mike Messier. We had many great actors. You haven't heard of any of them, but many of them contributed financially to the production of the film, and they're great actors who you've not heard of. The film is about the angst of a man living in a society that doesn't understand him or his genius. I took that as a personal story that came to me based on my own viewpoint of the world. As an artist, I am very fascinated with myself and how I relate to the world, but more importantly, how the world relates to me. My film is very good. It's worth seeing. Well, it is 17 minutes and 17 seconds long. We're putting it into the theaters as a feature. What do you mean that's not long enough? 80 minutes? Well, I have other footage of that we will add to the director's cut of Mike Messier's untitled feature film. It is a feature that will be 80 minutes, right? 80. And we'll have that cut shortly, in about a day. We'll have that tomorrow at some point, or the next day, over the weekend, next week. I appreciate this interview. I am currently going to get a haircut. You can see Mike Messier's untitled film, perhaps, eventually. We have to save cinema. We have to save independent cinema. We cannot allow the Harvey people and the Kevins of the world to have people not trust white men to make films, because we are good people for the most part, despite, we have our issues too. We have our history of things that are unpleasant, but for the most part, we're okay, I think. Albert Einstein was a white. I believe he might have been Jewish, but he's still white, and he was a male. So we have that, and so forth. So in the tradition of Albert Einstein, this is Mike Messier thing. Please see my next film, the Mike Messier entitled 17-minute and 17-second film. It'll be played in 17 theaters. Thank you. There's no theme of 17.